Welcome to another episode of Galactic Ambassadors podcast. My name is Julia Balaz, and today I'm joined by Caitlin Pendolino, joining us from Ohio in the United States. Welcome, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Caitlin is our recently certified quantum soul guidance practitioner, offering galactic astrology soul readings to her audience. And not only that, Caitlin has a long history of exceptional modalities, including being Usui Shiki, Ryoko, Reiki Master. Say it again.
Usui Shiki Ryoho. Yes.
Ryoho, beautiful. Reiki Master and trainer. 27 years of experience with that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Certified integrative yoga teacher, Qui Gong and Tai Chi teacher, and magnetic shamanic healer, and intuitive interpreting the gifts of Native American traditions. Mm-hmm. I love all that. And I can't wait to hear your story as you will touch on some of these or all of these modalities and tell us more about your journey. Welcome again.
Thank you. Okay. Well, you had asked how my journey was leading to the courses. So I had to go all the way back to when I was born. I hope we have enough time today. No.
Yes, we do.
Just kidding. Because my mom introduced me to astrology and yoga in 1970. And my parents were so far ahead of their time. And my mom knew she was from the stars. She told me that when she was like 12 years old, she would be looking at the stars and she knew she was from there. My family, especially my mother's side, Hungarian, Romanian, we have a lot of intuitive psychic abilities in our family. And it's even Transylvania. Well, my dad introduced me to my love for nature and supplements and vitamins. And I have a Virgo moon. My dad was a Virgo, and we know Virgos, we love health and supplements and things. But my dad and my mom, I feel our family is very Lyran connected. And my mom even told me that she saw our planet or something she saw. My dad, she and I were like floating, astraling, and we saw our planet exploded. That's what she told me. And that was like around 1968 that she told me that. And then later years, I had confirmation of that with, and I'll get to Barbara Hand Clow, but I had a confirmation of that. So I'm thinking it's Lyra, I'm pretty sure. And but my mom has a big serious connection, dad Procyon, and all three of us have very interesting supergalactic center points. So we're black hole people, which to me is like the astral realms, and we like to go there and relax and not have to do all this work. That's kind of what I believe with those super cosmic points. So also, we have Cancer connections, Cancer, the zodiac sign with ascendant moons. And my dad and I both have very close degrees on the ascendant. Right from the start, my guides were with me right from the start. And my mom's birth was difficult too. I had other healer intuitives tell me that I didn't want to come in, and there was others that didn't want me to come in. I was trying to be stopped from coming in. But the gift was that my guides were with me instantly. And I had very powerful conscious awareness as a baby. And I think I would have had a hard time making it without my I call them the P's, my Pleiadian angels with me right from the start. So years later, and this was in 1984, I was blessed to find the autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. That changed my whole life. I already had a lot of stuff, with mom's introductions to things, but I've read that book cover to cover several times over the years. And when I saw the picture of Mahavatar Babaji, I knew instantly he was my guru, my Paramahansa guru. I was just like floored with that. I get overwhelmed whenever I think about it. And that when I had something happen with the Sirius star system, in 6D, I had this, what they call a third eye dream. This was in 1988. And with those types of experiences, your body disappears. I didn't know that could happen when I had this happen, but I really feel I had a real true visitation to Mahavatar Babaji. And it was in the sixth dimension. And it was in this incredible sacred geometry. I mean, still get overwhelmed when I think about what I saw. The journey I took to get there was fascinating. I got to write this in my book down the road because I know we don't have time for all the details, but other than I was there with several other devotees, when he appeared, everybody there got hit, Shakti put in the light right into the third eye and into the heart, and it came from his heart. That blew me away. And I mean, I saw all of it, experienced all of it, came awake out of having that experience. And my flesh and blood guru at the time told me, when you have an experience like this, you will take something with you. Well, I was wrapped in my blanket on my bed there when I was in that experience. And when I came back, the blanket was on top of me when I went to sleep, went into this dream state. But when I woke up, it was completely wrapped around me like I was when I was in the 6D serious experience. So that was by far the most powerful experience of my life. And it changed everything because he pierced all 7 chakras and beyond, Haric level, Auric level, the whole way. So that changed my whole life. Then I've met in 95, I met Barbara Hand Clow and found out all about the Pleiadeans. That was just fascinating. 95, for many of you that are watching that remember that time, there was a huge holographic shift in how everything looked in 1995. It just led me to these really cool experiences. I do have a video where I talk about this big love, the Pleiades, and just how the P's, I didn't know who they were. I knew they were my angels, but I didn't have a real name for them until Barbara Hand Clow was able to define that. And then I did initiations with her, attunements with her, and found out about my Lemurian and Atlantis connection as well. So that happened. By 96, I started doing pranic and Christ consciousness healings on my own. I just had this happen. Just my hands were like on fire. It just came through me. I would see Jesus Christ and Blessed Mother above me, their sacred hearts bringing energy through me. And it was absolutely amazing, but I was so exhausted. So the universe brought me to meet a gal who was a massage therapist and told me about Reiki. When she felt me, she says, "Do you have Reiki? Do you have Reiki?" And I says, "No." She says, "You have something." She told me about a gal locally here. And so I went to the Reiki one, and wow. I mean, again, another life-changing experience. And then I met somebody there from Vermont, then took me to my ultimate Reiki master in Canada. So I had quite a bit of journeying during 95 through 97. And the 97 was like the pole star. It was just huge in my life. I met my husband, Enzo. Again, life-changing experiences all happening. I had a picture that I sent you of when we got married. Maybe we could share that. So talk about a kiss. The whole time we had this couple marry us that were dear, dear friends. So they were soulmates as well. And in the pictures, everything had this kind of filmy look and everything. And we just had the whole cosmos with us that day or something. My guide said that we had Pleiadian Syrian alliance that happened between us. And it was, I don't know, this picture, we still haven't figured out how that could happen. Maybe there's some technical thing to it. I've showed it to people who are very technical oriented. And they said, "I don't know how that happened." Maybe somebody watching will know, but that's kind of interesting.
I love that. You know, when you feel it, you know it.
Yeah. So we're definitely, I feel we're beyond soulmate as far as I think we're really twin souls, and we're able to tune into a non-physical lifetime where we share the same light body.
And you've had so many like endless magical experiences throughout your life, right? Like miraculous stories that happened.
We sat in a car one time just holding hands, and the whole car was shaking. It felt like teenagers. We were in the park holding hands, you know, kind of just talking. And it felt like teenagers were pushing on the back of the car. The whole car was shaking because of the energy. And people who met us that were involved in spirituality and sensitives and intuitives could feel it instantly when they met, especially in the beginning. It was really strong.
So we still have a photo from when you met. Would it be okay?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. We were definitely hippy dippies. It still are.
I love the vibe.
2000, we both went on our honeymoon to Kripalu, and we found Joseph LePage, and we did our integrative yoga therapy training. And the same year, we met a wonderful family, a doctor and his wife from China, who taught us Qigong and Tai Chi. We'd go to their home Wednesday morning, 7:15. She'd have the best tea you ever tasted in your life for us. And we went for, I think, a year or two. And we learned our Qigong and Tai Chi directly from them. And that was really special. Astrology, serious astrology, happened for me in 2018, of really starting to study it. Prior to that, I was kind of the Sesame Street version of fire and water. Okay, water puts out fire. That's why you're having trouble in that relationship. But Molly McCord, oh my God. Molly McCord and my daughter and I, we have to all know each other on the other side. I can't tell you how many times she says something and a week or two before, I've already had that experience. I mean, and my daughter too. So I want to meet her someday. I'm putting that out to the universe. I would love to meet you, Molly, if you ever hear this, and my daughter too. And Rick Levine, she talked about Rick Levine, who is, I'm sure you know who Rick Levine is. I mean, oh my God, just the wisest of the wise, and a wisecracker too. Yes. We love his jokes. That's the one my husband will listen to. He loves Rick. And I want to study with him in an advanced course eventually as well. Then in 2022, I found you, Julia, through Pam Gregory. And once I found you, I was searching everywhere to listen to everything because I just love your energy and was so excited. I just again, I'm older. So I thought, do I really want to go and become a practitioner? So I started off with Galactic 101 and then which was great. I loved it. But then I needed more. I wanted to learn more. So I went the whole way. And then here I am with you now on this day.
Would it be okay if I shared your natal chart while we talk about the life journey and go back to some of the points that you've shared? And my goodness, feels like you lived so many lifetimes in one. So here we have your natal chart. I'm using whole sign astrology. I believe you're used to Placidus in the year. Yeah, but the first thing that I want to point out is the presence of the supracosmic points, as you've mentioned. And it's a term that I love using. So the supracosmic points in our online calculator on galacticastrochart.com are the galactic center and supergalactic center, the great attractor, and a Shapley attractor. And here we have the three of them, the great attractor, Shapley, and supergalactic center connected to natal planets. And you also have 3 of the 4 royal stars aligned with your chart.
Opposite with Archangel Michael, though, with Aldebaran, it is an opposite. To me, that counts.
Oh, it absolutely counts. Yes.
Yeah. Because he's a huge influence in my life. He has helped me with my healing work like you wouldn't believe.
That's wonderful.
And all his angels. So, yeah.
Okay. And we also have the Alpha Centauri and Algol on the lunar nodes. I've talked about Algol on my recent presentations. If anyone got a chance to watch the presentation I did on 3 different life themes and how significant Algol is in the minds of great thinkers. And the way really I see it often with people is the natural ability to tune into the quantum space and receive intuitive guidance or solutions and things like that. So for you, it's on your south lunar node. And then you have Alpha Centauri, which I often see connected to people who live in Atlantis and late Lemuria as well, more so the late Lemuria. Information likes to come through that, and I really feel that frequency strongly with you. And then you've mentioned the strong connection and soul memories from Lyra. So the Alatfar star is within Lyran constellation. That's conjunct your sun, and sun is in Capricorn in 7th house. So all that really powerful. Now you have Thuban Draco on your natal moon.
Yeah, my dragon.
Yes, the principle of sovereignty and maintaining balance and harmony in this universe coming through your moon.
But my dragon has a great sense of humor. I feel actually my Thuban dragon is where I get my sense of humor. I know it may seem a little odd, but I really do. And it's connected to my Reiki, one of my Reiki guides. His name is Roses, and he's a shapeshifter. So my dragon's a shape-shifting dragon, and he loves to make me laugh. He appeals to my inner child. So it's kind of like Puff the Magic Dragon.
I love that. So just so many powerful alignments. And of course, there's so much that can be said about everything else and all the other configurations. We have this mystic rectangle here. So I wanted to, it's such a beautiful validation or testimony to when we see a combination of super cosmic points with the royal stars and with any other particular stars that we pay attention to in our calculator. I often see it with people who feel deeply called to be of service. There is usually a culmination of many previous incarnation, the work preparations for this incarnation, and it sounds like you've been within quite short space of time reintroduced to techniques and modalities that their origins go way back thousands of years, reminding or remembering your perhaps connection to them from before. And it must be important for you to embody it and bring it to others, often as a teacher and guide, right? You work a lot with groups as well as individuals.
Oh, yeah, lots. Yeah,
for all that. More about that, the
27 years. Yeah. I wanted to speak a little bit to Lemuria. I have vivid memories of also that. In fact, it's really interesting because a group I'm going to work with currently for this Reiki coming up year, we do like a year and a half for Reiki. I don't rush people through Reiki. And we do quite a bit of training. It's not like a 1, 2, 3 weekend or nothing online. I do it in person. But I have a Lemurian group that has found me, and I haven't had one find me in years. And we're piecing together through different Reiki 1 classes and going to head into Master. And I'm very excited. But what I wanted to say is this particular group, and my husband and I are involved in this as well, and my granddaughter too. We reincarnated from Lemuria. And do you feel, this is my personal sense, but Lemuria was a very successful civilization, just like the Mayan. And I feel it's still here. And it hasn't gone, just like the Mayans. We just can't tune in. So my Lemurian self, if you have that connection, we're all still there. But we chose to reincarnate into Atlantis to try to help prevent what had happened in this last time around with Atlantis, which we're now in another, pivotal point. Very similar. And I'm seeing a lot of Lemurian people waking up and remembering who they are. And we went and saw Cryon, who is Lee Carroll channels him. This was many years ago. And we happened to be in person at the Lemurian channeling. And of course, everybody there was Lemurian.
Surprise.
Yes. So that's huge. We have worked with so many people, oh my goodness, over so many years in all these modalities. We're very different. We do everything in person mainly. It's changed. COVID changed that. Okay, I had to learn how to do my stuff online to be able to reach people. And so I adapted to it because I do magnetic healing. And so it's interesting because I work with people on, auric level, haric level. And so I just did it the way I always did it. I would touch a person's shoulder, touch a person's hip, and then I'm able to move just like we did in Lemuria and Atlantis. We would use a stone table to do the magnetic balancing. And you don't have to have that. We can just move the energy and get more yin energy balanced if necessary, or if the person needs more yang energy, they need more feminine, they need more masculine. It's a balancing of magnetics. I'm able to help people get grounded. That's something that my specialty. Most people that find me are having difficulty staying grounded. And so I open their root block. Chances are, I would say 99% of people I work on and that find me, because I don't advertise till now, this new change in life, but they would find me somehow. And that's what it would be, a root block. I don't feel like I've had hardly any Earth lifetimes. In fact, I really feel like this could be my first one, to be honest, as far as an Earth lifetime. But I have been guardian angel to many Earth people. That I know I have many angel lifetimes. That is so natural for me, and I'm still doing it. That's what I do. I take care of people. I angel them.
I'm so glad
I see that in you too.
Yeah. I'm so glad you're mentioning it, because so many people that connect with my work feel that way, but there's something inside us that is preventing us from accepting, like we don't feel worthy of acknowledging that we are an angel human incarnate. you know.
Okay.
So I think
Yes.
you
Yeah.
sharing your story may help the individuals to accept the knowing, the deep knowing they have inside them, that actually
It just depends. There's people who go human to angel, or people who go angel to human. It's a descension, ascension process. That's part of my book. And I feel much more connected to the angelic side of me, and than I do my human side. My challenge has been, what I'm helping others do. So I may learn something 5 minutes before a person would come through the door because I just figured it out for myself. And then here they are sharing their story. And I'm like, well, here's a solution. Okay, so that has happened to me. Friends and students say, you're like a fly by the seat of your pants guru. That's me.
I love your humor.
It just comes in at the right moment.
Yes.
And it could be in the grocery store. It could be anywhere.
The magic of divine timing and synchronicity.
Yes.
And the humor of universe, how it aligns and how it happens.
And I know you haven't mentioned much with Pleiades, because I don't have particular stars that are on our. Are you going to say something about Pleiades?
Yes, actually, let me share your chart again.
Okay.
And there is something I want to share about
Okay.
that. Hang on. So I came across this multiple times where people who have really deep, profound connection with the Pleiades don't necessarily have Pleiades aligned in their chart, but the Pleiades typically is, the Pleiades would be rising or within the 12th, 11th house.
Yes.
On the sky. So here, if we look at the whole signed house, you might see it better here, because you can see how the degree of Pleiades, high Gemini, early Taurus is right here. And the Pleiadian stars orb of influence typically is within 1 degree. However, you have a lunar node, south node, and 26 degrees of Taurus, which would be maybe 4 degrees out of Pleiades. But in certain cases, perhaps with lunar nodes, we can extend the orb. It really is like case by case basis, and often down to personal preference. So the Pleiades is very closely to your south lunar node. So I would actually consider it as a conjunct alignment to your lunar nodes, especially if you feel so strongly about it and you had such a deep inspiration to explore the content of Barbara.
Absolutely. And many others too. And they told me who they are. They're like purple orbs. And they are inside of me, around me, and my husband can feel them too, sense them, and they download me all the time. So the purple orbies, they're so sweet. I love it. And they just make you feel so good. They just come in and you just feel really good.
Yes.
But my Electra connection, I was the one that kept bugging you to get Electra in there. That is huge for me. And I'm actually going to do a video on that. I'm preparing. But that's because I have a super connection to Avalon. And I have a lot of family on my dad's side in England. Now, I know we have family in the Cornwall area, which is beautiful. I want to visit Avalon and Glastonbury, that whole region, and I would like to try to find out if I have any family that genetically are from there, because I feel such a connection to that. And that's Electra. They are like right there together with the energies.
Electra and Pleiades, for any newbies that might not know. So Electra star and the Pleiades, you feel there is a strong, strong connection to Avalon with this star.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Also, my work with the archangels and ascended masters you had mentioned earlier, that's huge. Archangel Michael has given me a forgiveness therapy that is really amazing. I had a gal, this was many years ago. We worked very hard with many years coming to me, a lot of deep soul work. And it culminated with this forgiveness therapy that changed her whole life. And I'll tell you, when it happened, there wasn't a part of my house that didn't have the minty fresh tingles happening. It was like amazing. And I mean, it literally changed her whole life. So that, I think, was divinely connected to happen. She pushed past she was really held down by an uncle. And here she ends up working for this person. And she was free of that situation. And he became a completely different personality. But that's how much it was. The weight she never could lose, she lost. The relationship she could never find, she found, and she was able to move to a much more exciting area than Cleveland, Ohio.
Complete shift, like a whole new lifetime.
I felt very honored to just hold space for that. And I really feel it was the timing and everything. So, and I do a lot of shamanic work too, and magnetic, like I said, magnetic balancing. So, and I love to teach. I'm a teacher, healer, intuitive. I have all three. I did watch your program, and I feel like I kind of can fall into all three. I don't know if you agree, except for the technology.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you're mentioning that, because as I was doing that presentation, I've realized I know of people that have a combination of all these three archetypes: the teacher, the healer, and inventor, scientist, and these qualities manifest at different times of our life.
Well, that's going to be my magnetic balancing technique that I would love to be able to share with the world at some point. So I'm in that process with a book someday.
Beautiful. Yeah. May you be gifted a time to complete that.
Yes, I'm sure you understand. Time is the most precious commodity, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm in surrender.
Yes, me too.
I just wanted to highlight the beauty and importance of working with a practitioner or using your own intuition when you explore the galactic astrology alignments, because of cases like what we've shared with you and your Pleiadian connection. Because the software sometimes, when we get these websites that give us free report and description of our alignments, the system, because of the data that is put there that is limited, the system will not see when there is an exception. In the case of the orbs and things like that. So it can be really invaluable to identify a very powerful connection that only the intuitive, the quantum soul guidance,
I agree,
can birth into our awareness. So I'm so glad. What about the Native American connection? And
oh my,
how did that come
we
about?
need a whole nother video for that, but I'll try to sum it up. First off, I have some Native American blood. It's through my dad's side. I can't not listen to deep, soulful Native Americans singing without every cell in my body tingling, and my husband too. So it's just, we drum, and I'll drum around people. I rattle. I'm just able to channel into a part of me that's connected to this was a lifetime connected to my husband and myself. And it was just amazing. And did you share the picture of he and I with our hippie look?
Yes.
You did already? Okay. I didn't see it come up, so I didn't know, but that was the time right there. And we look like we're right out of that movie with Daniel Day-Lewis. There we are. I mean, it was like, and we normally didn't look like that, but this was in the prime time of that Native American connection. And my hair usually looks lighter. I don't know. We look kind of like we could have come out of that movie to me every time I see it. But we were, in that lifetime, many moons ago, we were the guides, angel guides, to a couple that were twin souls. It's like I would need to have a whole nother video to really explain it. Maybe I should do that.
I think you should.
Our Galactic channel.
Yes, so, it's wonderful. You have your own YouTube channel now.
Very. I was just starting out.
But still, how exciting. And it's a platform that allows you to take your time with sharing these stories, and the right people will be guided to it. So the channel name is CK Pendolino. But if people are searching it, they can also search for Bhakti Galactic Healing. The link is on your practitioner listing on our website. If you go to galacticastrology.com, practitioners.
Yeah, for this amount of years I've been doing this, I mean, I've had people tell me, why aren't you doing that? Why don't you do this? And I've been resistant to technology. I'm going to be very honest. And just liking my kind of non-technological state I was in.
But you've made
I kind of miss it, I must admit.
Yeah, but you've made huge leaps recently, and really hats down to your resilience and how much you've learned in such a short amount of time, and you're doing great.
I've been tested, had brain tests done twice, and 86 to 87% right brain. So, I mean, I do pretty good with that 13 to 14% left brain, but it's a challenge to attract people around me with left brains to make it, because I see everything in pictures. I see everything in pictures. So I'm really good with animal communication. I never even mentioned that, but because they do, I see the pictures that they're seeing. We communicate fast, really fast like that.
Instant information transfer. What type of brain testing is it where you can find out whether you're left or right brain?
It was something I did online years ago. I don't know. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
I am also excited about seeing the wonderful deep soul connection with your granddaughter, Adrienne.
Yes.
How did, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes.
What inspired her to also become Galactic Astrology?
Well, she knew I was doing it, and my daughter too. I just said that I'm really loving this. I explained everything, shared the information with her, and she made the decision that she wanted to do it as well. My daughter did not at this time. It doesn't mean that she wouldn't want it down the road. And my daughter loves mundane astrology. She's really into that collective stuff, like Rick Levine. She loves Rick and all that type of style. Yeah, she just decided. And then when we were getting close to us both being certified, we were really talking about maybe we could do something together. It would be kind of different to have I'm not her physical grandmother, I'm a step grandma, but we're very connected, star and other lifetime connections. Yeah, we're trying to build that. We don't have a separate thing. I think she has her website. She's helping me with mine. And so slowly but surely, and we appreciate you sharing our videos on your Galactic channel. We had quite a bit of people. I was surprised at how well we did, actually. I was kind of like, wow.
Oh, you did really well. There's just such a nice flow to the conversation you have between each other and the value of information that you share. So it's really wonderful to see. And actually, we will do Galactic Ambassadors podcast. The episode that comes after this one will be dedicated to Adriana Pendolino. So
Yes,
it's just such a beautiful timing. You are kind to wait for her certification. So you're kind of close with each other. And it's just such a joy to see that. Beautiful.
It's awesome. I wanted to share, if I have a little time, about the style of how I do the reports.
That was my next question. So thank you. Go ahead. Yes.
Well, I love doing the online is fine, but I prefer in person, but not everybody lives close enough, obviously. But I can do the online Zoom call, and also can do healing work if somebody needs that as well. And your encouragement brought me a fellow that lives about 3 hours away from me, and I did his, Joey. You had encouraged me to find somebody I didn't know, and now he's a best buddy. It's kind of amazing. And
I cannot say how many people were guided to this work. I feel I could be best pal with them, and there's just such beautiful, deep connections that occur between the client practitioner. You know, once the numbers grow and grow and grow, then it's really hard to maintain those beautiful relationships. But the beginnings are really wonderful when you still have that time to
absolutely
keep growing together. So I'm so happy to hear that.
It's so true. I can do reports, and I can do very many different variations. I know quite a bit about program yesterday on Native American plant totems and how they are connected to astrology. It was really cool. I think I'm actually going to make it into an online, maybe my first online class, because it was very well received. And it's just fascinating how like Yarrow pairs with Geminis. And it was based from a Native American Earth astrology book by Sun Bear. I'm connected to one of his students that taught me. Just very cool.
Can I ask you quickly, in that book, was there a mention about the stars being considered in Native American?
Not the fixed stars. It was zodiac astrology.
Yeah, I cannot recall where I saw it, but I do know whoever I met who mentioned their connection to Native Americans, they said that when a child is born, when sun or moon is at the Pleiades, they would consider that the soul came from the Pleiades. So I had goosebumps when this was early, maybe half a year into me publishing the Galactic Astrology course. And I just thought, oh, wow, what a beautiful validation to what we're seeing here.
No, there's a whole lot of Native American astrology with the Pleiades. And I know quite a bit about that. That's very true. But it wasn't in that particular book, but I'm sure he has it somewhere. And there's other books. Jamie Sams, I'm actually doing a monthly gathering with her book, The 13 Original Clan Mothers, and I call them the Moon Mothers. And so we've done 2 so far. We just did a Storyteller, which is aligns with Gemini and Cancer. So it's kind of the combination of the moons of both energies. People are loving it. And we have a fire, and we burn all the stuff we want to let go into the fire. We let go, and it's very powerful, honoring the divine feminine. This is big for me this year, is more divine feminine connection.
I love that with your whole sign connection, you have Jupiter in Libra in your 4th house, conjunct
the 3rd house. I think it's 3rd house
in Placidus. Yeah. So we could say that with the 3rd house, it's connected to your immediate environment and your teaching, the way you communicate, communicate the short distances, like your sense of community, which you're active there. If you go with the whole sign house calculation with astrology, which is always good to look at both, then Jupiter is in your fourth house, which connects to that ancient ancestral lineage that really comes alive when you focus there. And it's about bringing balance and harmony through Libra and on the super galactic center there. So it makes a lot of sense there too.
And I think the whole sign may bring in more, because I really feel I have a lot of Aquarius influence in my chart as well. And so I am a little bit of maybe because I'm old school, but I do believe in that if you're born on that cusp. I know a lot of people don't, but I've always felt like a conservative rebel. I mean, it's like I'm like two people in one.
So your sun is at 28 degrees of Capricorn, which is, next door to Aquarius, and you have Chiron and Lilith in Aquarius.
And I have my Chiron is in Aquarius. I have other Aquarian connections as well. My asteroids, I've got asteroids there too.
What I appreciated about your reports when you forwarded your certification documents was the class and style in how you deliver the information in very, very clear, precise manner that is so easy to understand. So I just want to highlight for any newbies to astrology, you have this wonderful quality about you that supports someone who is new to it. And of course, the advanced too. But, our community member, Ursula O'Farrell, who has done several presentations with me, she has that kind of quality too. She's like this guardian angel of someone. So I've noticed that with you as well. You're really good at explaining things. You're a really good teacher.
Even though my teachers all told my parents, she doesn't know how to follow directions, but she knows how to give them. No,
I guess it depends who was giving the directions and what kind of directions. Anything else in terms of your reports and session styles? Like where do you feel your heart is guiding you? How you combine all these wonderful modalities and experiences?
I'm intuitive. I have been playing more with the pendulum than I used to because of encouragement from you and other people in our group.
Just for clarity, pendulum work encouragement I always encourage it as a temporary crutch, just to help us gain a deeper trust in the information that is coming through. At least that was my experience. I used pendulum, I think 2-3 years, especially with people who are claircognizant, where you just have a knowing and it's harder to recognize the visual and auditory messages to come through because it's all packed inside a knowing. And then with pendulum, I found it really good to start deciphering the whole quantum package of information that comes through for many people intuitively. So once that trust is gained through sharing stories of what is coming through with clients or with people that people practice on, and they validate through their own experience, okay, yes, this really resonates. Yes, this actually really happened in my life, or, things like that. Then at least for me, you don't need the tool anymore, and you just really start working with your inner senses. So I just want to highlight for intuitives who already have a strong connection with their higher selves, with their spirit guides. They don't need the tools of tarot cards or pendulum, but it can be really handy when you work with the charts where you have a lot of options and you want to pinpoint the things. So that's how we...
Or birth time. I've used it a couple times to verify birth time, and it just cut down on my researching. So it was nice. I really do truly get everything very intuitively, obviously, with that right brain. I follow guidance. That's one thing I do, listen to the directions of my guides very, very much. And my connection to Mahavatar Babaji. That's huge for me. I can't imagine my life ever without it. I don't think it ever will be, even when I leave this body, because I'm so connected.
I encourage you to go back in time and look at your transiting charts during all those really powerful important moments. Have you had a chance to do that yet?
Gosh, I looked at it a long time ago because I have Barbara Hand Clow's book where she has all those transits and things. And I think it was called The Liquid Light of Sex or something. It's in one of her books, and it's all Chiron returns, Saturn returns. Meeting in 97, there was definite for both of us. We saw it in there. I remember that.
Very good. Yeah. It's such a wonderful way to gain deeper understanding of astrology if we go back through our significant events and look at all those charts. If anyone attempts to do that, I encourage you to actually set like a presentation where you have slides with all these different charts, because normally we look at it and then we forget it or we don't Like it saves time if you just create a file and then you can always go back, because each time you will realize different things. So, not everyone is good at remembering the dates of significant events, but most people do. So,
what's interesting about us, we have a lot of things that show us as soulmates in our charts, because I have Capricorn Sun, Cancer rising. My granddaughter has Capricorn Sun, Cancer rising, Adriana. We both have that. And Enzo is missing Capricorn and Cancer in his chart. It's his interception. And the two of us, I think, fill that for him and in our relationship with him. It's very, very fascinating, but we see that very much.
We complement.
And that's just fascinating to me how that happens. So I feel like if you don't have something in your chart, somebody will be there in your life that will bring forth that. And I'm a big believer, empty house is not a bad thing at all. I feel like we've already been there, done that. And it's an ability we've come in with. We don't really need to work on it like we do where all our planets and points are in those busy houses, That's where you're going to put your focus,
Yes.
That's, to me, that's the way I believe. And then I'll notice I'll have people that, and Enzo does, he has things in the 12th house. I don't have anything. I don't think I have anything in the 12th house. But when I sat down to learn to meditate, it was like that. No problem leaving my body. I have trouble with dissension coming into my body. And I help angels that don't want to be here, that are like, they're very positive oriented people, very happy. And they get in here and they're going, oh my God, what's happening? Where am I? I help them adjust.
I'm so glad you've mentioned the complement, how a couple can complement each other through astrology. And it can be so useful to seeing that, because sometimes we go through this period of frustration of, oh, why isn't he more like me? Why aren't we more alike? But then when you look at each other's chart, you can see actually there is a higher purpose to the differences, and you are actually meant to help each other develop certain areas and learn from each other through the differences. So
yes, for sure. Absolutely.
You're a good team. You are. I also just want to highlight and compliment on how much you do work with people in person and in your proximity and in your community. And I know many people will really resonate with that. And the fact that currently you don't have a website, and I'm not sure if you're intending to, because as you say, so far you're working with the referrals. And
now I really wouldn't have time. I already have 7 waiting for me.
Good to hear.
Because my Reiki is so prominent. It's I'm just still in transition between, I thought maybe I could transition into astrology, but the universe is saying there's too many people that still need these attunements.
And you have the energy coming through strongly.
Oh, yeah.
It's powerful.
Oh, yeah. And what was interesting yesterday, I was able to do, I've never done this before, in person. After I did my talk, people came and got quick mini readings with the astrology. And it was cool because I've just threw up Astrology Seek and I looked at blah, 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 and I was able to do it. I was really proud of myself, actually. So all your training and your course helped me a lot. But then I was doing Reiki also. And so I combined the two. So that was interesting. So we used to do that a lot. We used to go to these pre-COVID. We had a lot of expos that we would go to. And that's how we would meet people. There was this one called Whole Life Expo. And people like Deepak Chopra were there. I mean, like really incredible. This is way back. That was, I think, 1997, 98, somewhere around there. 98, I think it was. So it was more in person. This internet has taken us into these boxes, and there's a part of me very resistant to that. I feel like this is stopping us from really achieving telepathy. I feel if this had not been invented, I can only say we might, obviously, be a lot more telepathic and not have to have these mechanical things. I don't like the mechanical stuff personally. I prefer telepathic. Like I said, get me by an animal. I don't care if your animal loves you a lot. I walk in that room, boom, they're right with me because I can communicate with them.
Yeah, they feel seen and acknowledged in their essence, and that they always respond so well to that. Yeah.
Babies in the grocery store, Enzo and I walk by, and the baby is in the little seat thing, and they're going around the corner, and the baby's like this, watching our aura. And we're also watching theirs. We can see their auras, so they're so beautiful. Oh my goodness, these little babies, they're so beautiful. Oh my goodness. These energies, my guides call them the solar light babies. We still don't have a lot yet.
Solar light babies.
Solar light babies. Now we have all these solar flares. The ones being born now, I think we're going to get a lot more with these solar flares that are here. I mean, don't you feel like you could barely keep your feet on the ground, Julia? I mean, right? I mean,
very powerful and very,
it's
for me,
so
luckily activating and energizing, but I know many people feel wiped, but I suppose it depends on the...
I feel energized when there's a solar flare. If it's down in A level or B level, I'm exhausted. I can barely move. I am very sun solar connected, definitely. And that might be I was thinking of my conjunct Procyon. I was thinking that might be it, that energy. And so I know they're sun lovers. So,
your ascendant conjunct Procyon. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my strong work ethic, my magnetic healing abilities. I think that's all there. I'm meant to help people transition into the new earth. And I do it through 5D. I try to bypass 4D because it's the crazy cosmic highway. I astral travel all the time. I'm sure you do too. Council meetings here or there. A lot of Andromedan. I'm part of an Andromedan council. There's no doubt. And that's my husband and my connection. I don't know if you notice, I have a lot of Andromedan, but it's trines, trine, very
Thank
tight.
you for mentioning that. Yeah, the wheel that
yeah.
we showed shows conjunctions only, but then the trine and sextiles and all the other alignments are.
And that's where I have memories of a lot of fear with those horrific beings that are in Andromeda. That I can't remember their names, but I think Elena Danan talked about
Andromeda Galaxy.
Yeah, in that. Oh, yeah. And as soon as I saw the picture in her book, they look kind of like the Grinch on steroids. And it just tipped a memory in me. And I was like, oh, now I know why I had to leave there because, whoa, very scary. And we hopefully they never make it here because they're not good. And Enzo too. We have, between our two charts, we have things that tell me that story. When I look at our charts, I've got 10, he's got 11 connections there. So he has more conjunct.
So great that you can get so much clarity and validation through seeing the alignments there.
But free will, when I go to those council meetings, if anybody remembers me from there, I'm the one that will stand up if free will is being violated. Mm-hmm. And I remember being at a meeting a year or two ago, real clarity on it, and standing up astrally and about the Pleiadian souls that were their free will was being violated. There was others there too that were really speaking up on that. That kind of thing, that's that Andromedan side of me. If the free will is being violated, I'm like, whoa, look out. There comes my dragon.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the dragon connection. Yeah. Thank you for standing up for those who were not in a position to speak up for themselves and to say how important it is to receive help and assistance.
We make contracts. You know this. We make contracts. And when those contracts are being violated, that's huge.
Would you speak a little bit on your perspective and perception of how much help we are receiving from above, from higher realms?
Tons. If people could see how many of not only your past loved ones and from this lifetime connection as well, but it is like sardines in a can. I mean, and I've literally seen that, like the angelics. Everybody sees angels with wings. Well, the angelics usually are very androgynous looking. This is how I've seen them. I don't see the wings. I see more winged beings associated with the bird energies, the bird beings, Altair, different, these ones. Aquila. The angelics, especially the Orion angelics, are very androgynous looking. We had on Y2K, Julia, we had in my little house here over like close to 50 people. I don't know, it was 45 plus in down halls, in towards bathrooms. I mean, we had a feat for Y2K, right before that thing changed. It was the day before, whatever. Everybody was fearful. And it was absolutely amazing. My guide showed me how many angelics were in our home. It was like sardines in a can, enfolded just everywhere.
Beautiful. I can imagine.
And there's like, they have, they're able to twist and turn, and oh my God. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. And it was just outside. We have orb pictures like you wouldn't believe. Angelic light beings is what I like to call them. Just amazing everywhere. November 11th, 2011, that was, I think the harmonic convergence. Concordant. I'd been part of the convergence in 87. Okay, I was involved in that. And then we had this 2011 concordance one. And we have pictures that are mind-blowing, these orbs.
It's so great to hear firsthand experience. And when you just have an absolute knowing that it is so. So it can be very, very reassuring and healing for people to hear that. Yeah.
This is just we're in an illusion. I'd like you'd asked to send something out a little bit inspiring. And this message came to me actually through my connection to Jesus Christ. I was in a session, somebody was working on me, and I was speaking. I've had an awareness of Jesus Christ since I was very, very little. I didn't mention that in the beginning, but I would tell my mom, she'd read me the children's Bible and she'd show me pictures and she'd say, look here, or whatever. And I'd said, Mommy, I know Jesus. I know Jesus. I would tell her this. And I would have visitation as a child. I mean, and not just Jesus, but other beings and angels. And I was an only child, so I had very much awareness of that. They would say, oh, she just has imaginary friends. And here I am still having them almost 68 years later. Anyway, so in this session, somebody was working on me. And I was like, what is the truth? Are there aliens? I was asking all these questions. And mine was just going crazy. My mind was everywhere. His face came like right here, right in front of me. And it was all telepathic. I'm looking at the lips, hearing the voice in my head. Unconditional love is the only truth. Everything else is just an illusion. That's what I was told. And that comes up to me all the time. So if I'm having trouble with Enzo and I arguing, or just anything that's difficult in your life, having trouble, job transitions, relationship breakups, all that stuff, I pull this out and tell that person across from me immediately, you've got to look for the love. You've got to find that. That's what you ground into. So then you can look at the person and say, and this is like even during the times maybe arguments happening or the energy is off, just bottom line, I love you. Bottom line, I love you. I don't like you right now. I don't like what you're saying. I don't like what you're doing. Bottom line, I love you. And I mean, really, we should be able to say that with every single being because there's just one of us. We're just all separated out. My dad told me this as a child. He said, God was like one big amoeba, huge amoeba. And he says, there's all these little cells within that amoeba. And your mom, you and I are these next door neighbor cells. And he said, or then he gave me the vision of like grapes on a vine. You and your mom and me are these 3 grapes on this. And he'd be holding up the grapes and he'd teach me that. My dad was very metaphysical. And my dad would be, let's see, how old would he be now? Like 104 if he was still around. So my parents were very ahead of their time. And they're with me all the time. We astral travel all the time. They're never not with me. I feel them 100%. And I feel everybody's family is with them. It's your ability to tune into them and be willing, especially those who are hurting so hard because they've lost the physical presence of a person that's passed over. You open up to a whole new relationship, a whole new way of being when you can get past the limitation of the physicality and just connect spirit to spirit. I feel them 100%. And other people's too. They come through me. They step right into me. Other people's passed over loved ones. So,
I'd like to add that the love is the calling card. Like when you want to connect to your season. And I'm noticing that people who have this increased capacity for holding love in their heart, they tend to be able to clear telepathic connection, whether animals, humans, or souls and beings on the other side.
Our ego gets very involved and confuses us all the time. Soul is where we're going to experience that love. And what I love about your course is how soul-based it really is. And that really attracted me, definitely. And everything you teach.
I'm glad.
The videos I've seen you teaching over the years, that really attracts me.
Thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate that. Well, is there anything else important that you would like to share in relation to your client sessions, what people can look forward to, or what excites you in terms of exploring certain elements of galactic astrology in people's charts. Anything else that you would like to add as we close?
Well, I'm going to be very fine-tuned to the person I'm going to work with. And that's what's kind of come up so far. And a lot of people want me to do it with their children, which is interesting. So I want to use the elements. I'd like to use animal totems. And then I thought I could include something for when they could read back when they're older. And I think I could offer that to people. I would like to be able to do I like the mini stuff, really. And if somebody wants, I've got somebody that's hired me to do a full out deep dive, and it takes me a while. Hours. Sure, you know, my goodness, Julia, the amount of people you work on. Wow. And I hope I don't ever work on that many, to be honest, because I like to be outside playing. Look at my little fairy behind me. See, I love the flowers.
I love
we
the
go
choice of
we get on our
background.
trails, and we get the coolest pictures. And we didn't even talk about my fairy self either. Opened up in my early 40s.
I'm so happy that you conquered the resistance towards technology and that you have created a space now where you have your YouTube channel. So I would really highly encourage people who resonate with your energy, with your high vibes, to subscribe to Caitlin's YouTube channel, CK Pendolino. And keep an eye out on more stories to come.
I do have a Facebook page. I would love to build that. So
what's the name?
Caitlin and Enzo '(S) Galactic Goodies.
Perfect.
So
we'll put the link in the description of the video as well. Or if people visit your practitioner profile on our website, the Facebook link is there.
They could come to my email, ckpendolino@gmail.com. And I will have, I actually have a Wix, I think it's website that my granddaughter's hooking me up with, and I'm working on it right now. I would like to mention, just for this year, for others and for myself, big time for myself too, I really feel it is so important in 2024 and 2025. I think it's going to continue. But self-care, I think a lot of people are not paying attention to their self-care, and I haven't been. And so I'm going to do better at it. I have to. And I feel the balance is key. Is just, you've got to have that balance. So, and just make sure that we're covering all of our bodies, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Don't get too tied up in one or the other, and just have a nice balance.
I think we can't be reminded often enough about that, because we know it, but we get too distracted. So hearing it out loud, even on a daily basis from any source, of that reminder, it's always appreciated.
A lot of us are angels having a human lifetime. It's important to realize and remember that too, that we're an eternal soul having human lifetimes. We could get so caught up and think this human lifetime is so important. It's just barely a blip, barely a nanosecond of what we really are. We are so much more. So much more. We can't conceive of it from our human perspective.
The idea comes to mind that we came down here to slow down.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. This is so dense.
We kind of have we have no choice. We really have to slow down because the energy of the light and love is so expansive. It's just so alive. Well, thank you for the important reminder. And thank you for all the stories that you've shared with us. I'm so happy that you also included the photos from the beautiful wedding day and from the time when you've met. There's so many beings of light that support you, that work with you and through you, Caitlin. I'm really deeply honored that you were guided to this modality, and I'm so happy and thrilled to be able to share about your website, your upcoming website, your channels with the world.
I think I have the name of it. It'll be Caitlin's Angels Love Astrology.
Oh,
that's what the name of it is.
Beautiful. So many blessings in that name. Well, as soon as it is up and running, it will be updated on your practitioner's profile, so people can reach you there. And I'm sure you might share it also then on your YouTube channel and your Facebook. So thank you so much for all your service. Physically, you look and feel very young. On a soul level, you feel ancient, and it's so beautiful how much wisdom is coming through you. So the paradox of life.
Thank you, Julia.
May you have an amazing journey ahead. Still so much to look forward to. So
well, I think the whole QSG, you're just going to keep growing and growing, and it's coming. 2030.
We're riding this wave together. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again in the next episode with Caitlin's granddaughter, Adriana. Look forward to that. Much love to all.
Yay.